Lots of people across the globe are leaving Islam. Secretly, silently.
So when I read Quran, Hadith, and Sirah, I found there is a lot of violence. Not only that, not a lot of violence, but filled by violence, violence and equality. Violence because behind between Muslim and non-Muslim people, inequality between Muslim and non-Muslim people, and also inequality between Muslim men and women. Also, Islam permitted slave sex, and slave girl and capture slave girl and do war I mean jihad against non-Muslim people. Only the reason you have to, uh, if you are a Muslim, you have to hate non-Muslim people.
He is Mufti Abdullah Al Masood, an expert in Islamic law from Bangladesh, who was conferred the Mufti title by his madrasa for his scholarship. But soon after he earned the title, he left Islam to live the life of an atheist. Mufti Abdullah Al Masood has rational views on Islam. Talks about why he left Islam.
Quran made by Muhammad. And when I read Quran, I find there is a lot of violence. This kind of violence is not acceptable in our modern society. Not only in modern society. Not all time. It is unacceptable. If you read Quran and Quran's Surah At-Tawbah, Surah number 9, and ayat number 5. Ayat number 5. There is a clear order to Muslim people to kill non-Muslim people. The ayat is فَإِذَا انْسَلَخَ الْأَشْهُرُ الْحُرُمُ فَاقْتُلُوا الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَيْثُ وَجَدتُّمُوهُمْ وَخُذُوهُمْ وَاحْصُرُوهُمْ وَاقْعُدُوا لَهُمْ كُلَّ مَرْصَدٍ فَإِنْ تَابُوا وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَوُا الزَّكَاةَ فَخَلُّوا سَبِيلَهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. This has meaning, and when the sacred months have passed, then kill the polytheists wherever you find them and capture them and besiege them and sit in wait for them at every place of ambush. But if they should repent, establish if they should repent, establish prayer and give zakah, let them go on their way. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Think, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Allah said that Allah is forgiving, merciful. When he said this, when he ordered Muslim people to non-Muslim to kill non-Muslim people and wait for them and find out them and kill them, that after saying this, Allah said he is merciful. This is the example of mercifulness of Allah. This is the example of kindness of Allah.
He says that as a religious ideology, Islam holds discriminatory views against women and a violent one against non-Muslims. That did not sit well with his humanist values, and so he finally left Islam. But Masood is not the lone Muslim to renounce Islam in this world. Rather, he is one among the millions of ex-Muslims. Telegraph India quotes a study conducted in 2012 which concluded that there are more than 1 million atheists in Saudi Arabia, the cradle of Islam. In addition to that, 6 million people in the Islamic nation declared themselves as non-religious. The report also states that 19% of American Muslims declared themselves as non-religious, and the same number is 15% in Italy. What is even more striking is that according to a report published by The Dawn, around 2% of Pakistan's population, which would account for 48 lakh persons of its total population, are self-proclaimed atheists. On account of this movement, ex-Muslim organizations have come up across the globe. Their reasons for renouncing Islam range from a purported unscientific worldview held by Islam to its proclamation of jihad against non-Muslims. Ayub Ali Sharma, an ex-Muslim from Assam, cites antipathy for women in Islamic ideology as one of the reasons for his leaving Islam.
2 नंबर सूरा की 230 नंबर आयत में लिखा है, 3 तलाक के बाद, 3 तलाक के बाद उधर लिखा है, जो पुरुष ने जो आदमी ने औरत को 3 बार तलाक कह दिया तो वो तलाक हो गया, तो ठीक है तलाक हो गया। वो उस पुरुष का जो गलती हो जाए, ये गलती से वो गुस्सा से वो बोल दिया 3 तलाक, तो तलाक हो जाए, फिर उसका गुस्सा चला गया, माइंड अच्छा हो गया, उस समय वो उस औरत को चाहता है, उस महिला को चाहता है, उस समय क्या करना होगा? इस्लाम में लिखा है जो उस महिला को दूसरे एक पुरुष के साथ निकाह देना होगा। निकाह देने के बाद वो पुरुष जब समय वो तलाक देगा, फिर वो तलाक देने के बाद जो प्रथम पुरुष वो निकाह कर सकते हैं। देखिए, जिस समय जिस घटनाओं में महिला को कोई गलती नहीं है, भूल से गलती से तलाक दे दिए, तब उस महिलाओं को दूसरे एक पुरुष का साथ निकाह होना चाहिए।
Many women leaving Islam have cited similar grievance. Ayan Hirsi Ali, an American Dutch Somalian ex-Muslim woman who left Islam, talks about it very openly.
I embrace Muslims, but I reject Islamic law. I reject Islamic law because it's totalitarian. I reject Islamic law because it's bigoted, and especially bigoted against women. Where Islamic law becomes the law of the land, if these attitudes are translated into law, women will need a male guardian. Child marriage is reintroduced. You'll be disinherited. If you're raped, it's your fault and you get stoned to death. And we see numerous examples of that.
Masood says that Islam also looks down upon sexual orientations other than heterosexuality. Though Muslims with LGBTQ sexual orientations are struggling hard to carve out a space for themselves within the Muslim society, many of them have left Islam permanently. A Pakistani gay man living in the United States of America shares his plight and pain.
I was different from other boys, because I was interested in what is called womanly things, playing with dolls or wearing high heels, my mother high heels, and wearing her clothes, right? And I felt different, and I started getting attracted to other boys when I was like 8 or 9, 10 years old. And it was a big secret, I thought it was a big secret, but I think people figured out, because I was called all sorts of names in Pakistan, like he's a My father was really abusive. He was physically and emotionally very abusive. When I came out, I was 18 years old. My father threatened to kill me, so I needed to get out. There is a relationship between Islamic thought and the idea of Paki and Paliti, which is like the idea of things being clean and pure or not being clean or pure. When I was first discovering my sexuality in Pakistan, I would always consider myself really very dirty, very impure, because I was doing something impure. It took me a very long time to come out of that. The reason that I left Islam has a lot to do with my homosexuality. In recent years that I have seen is that ex-Muslims have been maligned by the left, who at one time, and still are, they were champions of gay rights. But if there is a gay guy and he's ex-Muslim like me, our loyalties are questioned, because how can you be an ex-Muslim? You're a brown person. We don't belong to the left that has historically supported minorities. We really don't belong to the right. And we don't belong to our own community because we are non-Muslims. And then we don't belong to the straight world because we are gay. So we really don't belong anywhere, right? So we are in limbo right now.